Young Tower. Gonna be interesting. Wait,
Ooh, we are now live. Excellent. I'm just going to do a quick audio check here, and then we'll get started as soon as I see that it appears on the stream itself.
okay, sounds good.
There we go. I see us online. Perfect. Now for a quick audio check here. Oh, wait. I gotta wait for the little commercial here that's Sports Twitch.
Oh yeah, uh, yeah, I've got Amazon Prime original show.
All right. If you want to end up giving me a quick mic check so I can actually, because I can hear myself. Just want to hear you, make sure you're.
2212. Can you hear me?
Yep, we are good to go. All right, thank you guys for joining us. This will be set 7 for low tier. Deus Vult versus the Phantoms. I'm
The
Guardians Warcry, and we got
Phantoms.
Spiel with me, and we'll be your host for today.
Hey guys, thanks for coming along today. So the history for these teams, the Phantoms are currently undefeated, right? In this year.
Yeah, so far they're the undefeated ones here. And I think that for the most part, actually, everybody here has, with exception of maybe Wicket, has really had some time here. I think everybody else here is fairly on the Phantoms is fairly, let's say, weathered.
Yeah.
They're veterans. They're veterans. I don't know. Have you actually really been getting much view time of both teams so far this season?
Um, I've seen a bit of Phantoms, and Deus Vult, of course, because they played against our team. Um, but I would like to see more on what how the Phantoms played. They don't have any more. I think what's his name? There was a guy last game that did really well, but then he's no longer with this league. Forgot what his
Ooh.
name was.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good. God, who was it?
It was
Uh,
something. I don't know.
all right.
I
It looks
do.
like
Wait,
we
was
have Ash and Tom are in the chat. Maybe they'll actually happen to remember. No, Ash will actually remember. Whoever left.
yeah. He was a DPS player. I reached out to him in the Discord, but I forgot his
Okay.
name.
Well, then, any predictions on that? Maybe some scores, maybe some specific maps you think that may actually be in favor of one team or the other.
Um, to be honest, the only team I've seen lately perform really well in Lijiang Tower was Daresville when they played against us. I think they ran a really strong composition, which kind of like countered us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the moment they have the edge. I haven't really seen too much of what the Phantom's running. Oh, okay, then Zan's out of the lobby. But yeah, I think at the moment, from what I've seen, I think I'll give the edge to Deus, but you can't take anything away from the undefeated here.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
a
we'll
pretty
just have
hard
to
one to
wait.
overrule, right? When you got a history like that. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, with Hyolist um, Chelsea, I've seen them on some of their damage rolls, and they've been pretty lethal. But I mean, with Endragon
Mhm.
and Meek, which is actually Icarus on the stream here, Icarus um, has been fairly tough competitor himself. So I think that
Yeah,
the matchup between the two are going to be pretty strong.
definitely. It's going to be interesting to see how they face off. Also, wasn't Bams also on the Phantoms, right?
Bam's actually was traded
To
last set
Deus,
or
right?
two. Yeah, he's on Deus Vult right now.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a, I would say a revenge match, but it's like facing a former team.
Right?
So it's gonna have that. It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if I've seen Bams play with Deus Vult yet. I know he's been for
No.
the couple sets, but I think he was away during their last game.
Yeah, I was informed he was on holiday, so
I
he
think he
hasn't
came
been
back
able
yesterday,
to.
so
Yeah.
or today, one of the two. One of the two. But he himself, like Bams has a excellent Pharah.
Oh yeah, I saw him
Super
pop off
sneaky.
on
I mean, with those jets, how
Yeah,
do you actually truly end up sneaking around corners like that? But yeah, pretty entertaining at
the
times.
DPS duo for the Phantoms and Bams was on the Pharah, and you had Jarlis on
Oh
the
yeah,
other
that's
DPS like a hit scan or the Junkrat. Yeah, that their duo was kind of like formidable in this tier. From what
definitely.
I've seen. So,
Maybe Bams is the one we were thinking of who ended up leaving the Phantoms or whatever. Maybe it's because he hasn't left the league. He's moved teams.
oh no,
He got
was
traded.
somebody else. I'll find out whoever it was, but the guy was really good. Like he was insane.
Looks like we are getting started, everyone. As you can clearly see, Lijiang Tower, first map. Here we go.
Is it? Okay, we are on gardens.
Ah, yes, gardens. What a lovely scenery.
Now, normally you tend to see, especially in the Overwatch League, a lot of teams like to run the mobility here because there's a lot of boot potential on the sides. I mean, you can run, if you're running goats or bunker, you can run it, but it's just, even like in the 2-2-2 meta right now, you see teams running the Wrecking Ball here, even if it's favorable to May Reaper. So
You
it'd be
even see
interesting
lots
to see
of
what they
Pharah,
run.
too.
Yeah, you see lots of Pharaoh, exactly. So you have the boot. Lucio's really nice here. If they go across the bridge, they can get some nice kills. The Hammond is really nice to get some kills off the bridge. So it's just a lot of like ways to get free kills. And as you can see, I believe they are going to opt with the Hammond Diva, whilst Deus Vult was going for a more Despot composition here. Yeah, they're going with this kind of like Pharah Doomfist. That's an interesting.
This is definitely going to be an
composition.
interesting composition for this. So we got.
At the moment, it's looking like it's favorable to the Phantoms by composition.
And they are
unless...
all going towards the white area, except for we got one for each team that have decided to take the alternate route.
This is the right call though for Deus. It would be favorable for them to go over the bridge, but it's going to be very hard for them to make it right here. Yeah, they have the Doomfist CC as well. It's going to be very hard for them to make it into the point. This is what I was talking about, so when it comes to like this kind of map, knowing map specific, mobility favors at the moment. The Reinhardt can barely even make space for his team here because they have so much CC.
Oh, and this Mei is just causing so much problems.
Oh, the Mei does take down the Hammond. Okay, he overextends there. You see Chelsea Dorman just waiting for
and
Call Me Rock.
You hate
okay,
to
he
see
loves
it.
a huge pin on the back. Okay, they invest a sound barrier here. Okay, the fight's going on. I'm not sure how much Doomfist can last with all. He's in the back of everything. Okay, gets killed for it. Oh, that was a big slam from Call Me Rock. Gets a triple kill.
Ooh, and it looks like Deus Vult actually wins out this first fight. A long fight.
Yeah, they do, and they actually have a really nice ult advantage too. They have the Blizzard, they have coming to grab, they have the attack visor, so they're actually in a really good spot right now. Okay, they switched to the Reinhardt. Honestly, I would have stayed on the Hammond because it was working really well. But I can see why you're gonna need.
Ooh, and the boop comes off on Icarus. That's gonna make things open up really quick.
And they initiate. Okay, that's a really nice wall, but it's a nice initiation with the coalescence. But this is what I mean about the ult advantage. Yep.
Yep. Out comes
they
Blizzard.
Look like to be holding here, but no. Okay, Jollis just get the mercy, so it could be all turned around here. And they are turning it around. Even with the ult economy, the soldier wasn't able to use the attack visor. He got the diva in his face. And Phantoms will turn the fight around. Even at an ult disadvantage, Guardians, they were able to turn that fight around with an early pick of the Lucio.
Ooh. Lots of damage getting dealt out from spam before Ryan was able to get back. That actually probably get some solid ult charge for Gullis, getting actually them ready to go for their next fight.
Okay, so the Doomfist was a bit overextended there. He tried to challenge the team by getting hit.
Oh,
huge
Hollis.
rocket barrage from Hollis. That could be the map right here. We're coming up to one fight territory. Deus needs to reset as soon as possible to even touch the point here, and they're getting staggered. I don't think they can have anybody to touch the point, and N-Dragon still hasn't used this tag visor yet.
Ooh, Boop almost comes off on the soldier.
Yeah, okay, cheeky Helix rocket, and he's not able to touch.
So close. That actually was a pretty good rocket jump.
That was a really nice rocket jump. I agree.
Nicely executed.
The problem was, though, they were holding on to these ultimates and they weren't being used. There were people getting picked, people getting overextended, and they weren't able to capitalize on using the ultimates. And so Phantoms was able to keep recycling these ultimates, and so hence they won the round. But yeah, interesting. Personally, I would have stayed onto the Hammond, but it worked out in the end for the Phantoms. They were able to mirror the composition, and yeah, it wasn't a bad switch. It was just that the mobility just favored the composition more. But I can see why he might have thought he wanted to go to the Rhine to potentially block an upcoming Earth Shatter. But it looks like you're going with interesting here from the Phantoms. They're going with a Reinhardt Hammond. Wow,
Hammond's already set up. Hammond is waiting for that.
He's waiting for those boops. Okay, he goes for a cheeky little charge here. Both Ryan swing,
nice pick off on the Ryan.
Raft will fall from Sebastian. Oh, but Arya does get a nice res on. It's back 60's fixed, but no, Dortmund does get down Dylan. Phantom will be able to hold it.
My ultimate is charging.
So they're coming up to a coalescence. Moira's ult is one of those ults that can charge really fast because you have the damage potential, you just have the orbs. And with the Diva not being there, it makes the healing a lot easier for the Moira. Okay, goes for a nice shot here, but it does get blocked.
Does not connect. Oh, we got double high noon popping out just to get the
Unfortunate that he does get shattered into it. Oh, that's unlucky. But
it is.
The Phantoms will be able to hold here.
Very unlucky. Both of them pop out. All of a sudden, one Ryan happens to have his shatter ready and just takes advantage of that moment.
The last thing you want as a McCree when you're playing the high noon, when you play against the main, she walls you off. That's just feels bad. You just have to cancel it. Oh, it comes way out. Oh, he goes comes the Death Blossom with a teleportation. That's a huge play. I love it.
Death Blossom
Overwatch
too.
League plays here from Hollis.
This will heal you.
Like he just teleports right into the entire squad just to ult and everything.
Yeah,
a little risky. I mean,
I love seeing that.
You couldn't do
risky,
that.
High risk, high reward.
Oh, definitely high reward.
They
That
only
kept that fight.
invested the Death Blossom there.
Yep.
That's why this Reaper, this new Reaper is so strong. If you don't run good, Reaper will tear up your tanks apart.
Oh, it is. Oh no, and the boop comes off on Icarus.
Oh, they are
can actually...
okay, they C9, they play the objective, and Phantoms... But it's a nice shatter there, but Will he get punished? He does get punished for it.
Followed up with a
Nice rotation here from Deus Vult. The Dorman does get the Reinhardt. Can he bring it back here? They res the Reinhardt back. I think they are going to bring it back. End Dragon gets 2 with...
Ooh, he picks
Oh, just
Hyolus
trading
off.
back and forth. It's just a whole fiesta going on right here. I don't even know what's going on. Okay, someone gets a nice cheeky pin. I think Deus Vult will be able to hold after all that. That's crazy. So much ultimates have been invested in this. They used the Death Blossom, they used the High Noon, they used the Sound Barrier even. So at the moment though, it is looking unfavorable to the Phantoms in on.
Well, I mean, they still have grab, they still have the shatter and everything.
Oh, I was going to say Dylan did get 2, but they traded back with 3 kills. Dylan is popping off now on this McCree, and he's
just stuck in the corner.
Woo!
That's unfortunate. He was stuck in that corner for that fight, and
He was. He couldn't go anywhere. He was getting body blocked by the hamster. He couldn't go anywhere.
but I mean, with such little space, he was still able to get a lot of work done. I mean, he got like what 3-4 of the picks off of that fight
Yeah, he did.
from being stuck in that little corner. So
fight around for Deus Vult.
oh, we got a cheeky little boof
Oh,
off.
cheeky environment. That is big. That is big, Guardian. Oh, Jonas gets 3. I think this could be it right now. This is one fight territory. I don't know if anybody can touch here. Yep, so we have Dylan trying to switch on the traitor to try and get touch. I don't think they can make it, and Phantoms will take first map. It was very back and forth though.
It was a good fight.
Both teams.
I don't know, that's actually a tough one. I mean, you have on both sides, you had Dylan, you know, working with minimal space in order to actually get that final fight, and you have Hyolus that actually ends up taking out. Ooh, that's, you hate to see it. The Rhine in that charge there, but yeah, then I mean, having Hyolus with that like really ballsy Reaper. I mean, with the fact that he's now a little bit invulnerable for the first little bit while coming out, it makes it a little bit more difficult to actually deal with the Reaper as he's teleporting in.
Exactly. Your team needs to expect the Death Blossom coming in. So if you know the Reaper has Death Blossom, you need to check your corners. You need to expect him making those kind of plays, because not only what you mentioned, Reaper's teleporter is actually a lot faster now too. So he can get away with doing Death Blossoms behind your team because he can survive, because everybody is just a massive health pack because of the lifesteal.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why you see May Reaper so strong in this current 2-2-2 meta. But I'm actually quite surprised no other team is going different compositions like a bunker or a goat. But I do like the little Hammond Phantoms are throwing out here. It throws the enemy Reinhardt off. And it was hard for Zan to get in position because he kept getting booped by the Hammond, so it was hard for him to build charge.
I think
the grabs,
Hammond also knocking, because Icarus was on the Lucio a few times, but he knocked him out of the fight a bunch of times, right? Which obviously that value ends up getting removed with any of the utility from healing or anything like that during those initial fights. I think during one of the fights near the end on that second round, there was a point where Icarus was actually stuck on the walls, trying to get back up, right? I mean, he successfully got himself up, but he was out of the fight for the first little bit. As the ball was kind of
that's the
starting
thing.
To
If you can zone them out, they're essentially as good as dead. That is a 6v5 if that's the case. So good plays from there. Are there any subs coming in? Icarus did get subbed out for somebody else.
Yep, Cyanide Cyclops is coming in. It has been subbed out, subbed in. One thing Deus Vult could easily end up starting to do once they start tracking some of things like Reaper's ultimates and everything like that, start saving a flashbang or having something that can actually quickly deal with it immediately, or like stop it in its tracks.
Definitely. I think that's why Dylan switched to the McCree to try and flash, but he wasn't in position to flashbang because it happened so fast.
Oh, it happened really quick, and I think he was inside the rest of the group, so he probably went down almost immediately.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to react, unfortunately. But it was still great work on both teams' parts.
Definitely, yeah. Both teams really popped off there. It was very back and forth. There were times when I didn't even know what was going on. Kills just been trading by both teams, and that's the kind of thing you want to see in an Overwatch game. You don't want to see it one-sided. You want to make it like a slugfest, going back and forth.
Exactly. Otherwise, I mean, like, yeah, if it gets one-sided, there's at least less entertainment factor, and
yeah,
it's not what you want to see.
No, you definitely want to see them going head-to-head. But King's Row, one of my favorite maps, especially to play with Reinhardt. A lot of Perez's favorite maps. Yeah, I just really like. I don't know. I enjoy playing Reinhardt a lot. He's just one of my favorite tanks to play, and so when I can play him, especially on this map, it's perfect for Reinhardt, even if it's not in meta.
I was gonna say because Reinhardt's becoming more of a situational pick than anything else with the current meta.
He's very map dependent. Yeah, the only reason why he's being picked is because of goats. If goats wasn't a thing, Orisa Hog is what you see now in the 2-2-2, because Orisa is just a lot better really than the Rhine.
All ends in just 2 days' time.
Yeah, true.
For everyone. Not for us yet. We still have.
I mean, you do
two more
sometimes
sets
see
to
the
finish.
Reinhardt.
All right. But yeah, like we got 2 more sets to finish for our league, so we won't be seeing the 2-2-2 lock just yet.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering actually if we're actually going to see any Widows come out on this map. I think with, like, Dylan has some pretty solid aim. I know Hyalis has pretty solid aim himself. I'm just kind of curious if that's... Yep.
Ooh, and
as I predicted, Dylan has gone with a Widow.
Okay, this is
I like seeing some of these.
From Deus.
Oh, actually, we're going to have him on both sides. Actually, it's not Hyalis that's actually on it, it's Chelsea. Excellent.
Chelsea versus Dylan here, okay. So it's going to be an interesting matchup between the Widow and 1v1.
Be an interesting little Widow off.
The Deus, Deus are opting with the Roadhog rather than the Zayas, so they have more potential shield break than Phantoms here, but the space... Oh, Dylan does get an initial
Dylan
pick
gets it the
off.
first.
that was really quick, guys. I didn't expect
It
that.
was.
I think they were playing at the spawn, and Chelsea did get punished for it.
Oh. We do
That's gonna slow
have...
things
Oh,
down.
Dylan has already ended up realizing that the other Widow is back.
Oh, they are taking very aggressive here from the Phantoms. They're already going for the space, and this is what I mean with the Zaya. You have the bubble potential there. The Reinhardt can play more aggressive, but the hook almost gets Moira. Didn't finish her there.
Ooh, this is becoming the who can get Shatter first battle.
It is, and okay, 2 kills have been traded, but a res is being covered. Okay,
yeah, I
so
was just gonna say he should look for the
huge Shatter though, big slam. He has been dominating on the Reinhardt here at the moment.
Sebastian just waiting for that opportunity for watching Call Me Raft to do a fire strike, just opening it up, right?
Exactly. That's the thing with the Reinhardt mind games. You gotta always try to know when the Reinhardt has the Shatter. You need to bait it as much as you can. If you know they have Shatter, you need to play defensively. You can't just swing your hammer around. You gotta bait it out. And Raft has been dominating on the Reinhardt actually in the first round, but at the moment, Sebastian has seemed to change his mindset, and he is looking very strong in King's Row so far. Sebastian does get a pick off side. Okay, it is looking big, but Deus will be able to res that. Okay, there's a teleportation here. The Reaper is going back to there in the side of the field. Oh, okay, he goes for a very deep shot. No, he gets punished for it. He goes way too deep.
Just was not anybody with him to follow up, unfortunately, and that
There
leaves a
isn't, and here comes
free
another
Shatter.
Big slam. Free Shatter with the Reinhardt down. He is popping off here right now on the Reinhardt. It's just like look at Reinhardt's shield. He covers the entire street, which is why I love playing him here. He's so good.
How do you think Sigma's gonna end up faring once he ends up coming into like this street? Because he can constantly keep moving
yeah,
it.
that's a good
Especially if you end
question.
up doing double tank, you could easily have him as an off tank even just to take care of that. And
Yeah,
still
I mean,
probably couple with
from
some
what
mobile
I've
comps too.
seen, a lot of players, professional players, have been using Sigma as kind of an off tank rather than the main tank. I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if we can even have those named because it doesn't really matter anymore. You can even, as long as they synergize, it's fine. But Jarlath does get a double kill with the Death Blossom. Okay, going deep here. He does get Psy. Okay, things are going back and forth. But Phantoms look to be trading it out.
Dylan does end up getting the Reaper off, but unfortunately not quick enough in order to save his supports. Now he's going to have to be forced to retreat while the rest of his team groups up. And they're going to be held right in the spawn doors.
Yeah, okay, here comes the very ambitious tag by the Chelsea does get End Dragon, and that could be things to slow down. No, okay, they are pushing ahead. Here we go. They do have the Graviton. It's being invested right here. Here comes the Immortality field. The Phantoms are going to take it out here. Oh, they had the Earth Shatter. They had all the tools, but the Graviton was there. Unfortunately, the Roadhog didn't pay dividends to match up with Desire. That was a very, very fast push. 4 minutes, 25 seconds in the time bank on King's Row.
Nuts amount of time. Like that's that's going to be hard to try to defend against if we have to go into a second attack for both teams.
Definitely.
Deus Vult's definitely going to end up needing to get a nice strong push. I mean, even if they end up having just a minute down, that's still doable. But I mean, not that I've actually never had games myself where you only had a minute left and were able to push it from start to capture and push it from start to end in overtime entirely, but can't bank on that all the time.
Yeah, I've had those. I've had them in ranked before in Mumbai. I remember we were in overtime and we were at a disadvantage, and then we put a Bastion on the payload, and the team couldn't get us off. We were just unbreakable on the attack, and so we ended up in overtime with only 1 minute having to push. We ended up getting 3 points and finishing the map. So you never know, really. It depends. Does Deus have the clutch potential here to bring it all the way and kind of get the 3 points, get back in the game? We're gonna have to see. They are going with the Maystal here. Chelsea Dortmund is going. I like the idea to kind of split the team in half.
This is one of my favorite moves that looks like Chelsea's going for right here. As soon as they come through, yep, that Rhine is now trapped.
They're focusing the Reinhardt. Here he is. Okay,
they were able to all get through.
Nice shot. He does fall from it though.
Yes. They were able to actually capitalize on it. It was a little rough though because some of the rest of the teams did start pushing through that little crack that was still left open, but successfully trapped that Reinhardt from getting back out.
I think Zan gets the mech. Yeah, no, they were poking and then they lose their Diva's mech. At this point, you do not want at all costs Deus Vult to go through this choke. You want to rotate up onto the hotel.
Out comes Visor. Not really getting anybody from it.
Rough shield is going to
break. Is just going to go down. Now they're just going to have to start swinging or take line of sight or something. Start putting some pressure on
Wickets
them.
almost has Graviton. But they use it here. She has to watch out for that Diva. And the Diva doesn't eat it. It's a fat grab, and they
only one goes down so far from that grab.
And Dragon did have the sound barrier though. Unfortunately, he used it, but it wasn't enough to save the Reinhardt. There was too much target focus, too much damage, and he does fall. And then really strong hold so far here.
Ooh. That's unfortunate stagger on Ari right there.
Yeah. That's going to slow things down a little bit more. Well, I was saying, Guardians, that they can't push it because they have a mate every time they try to push, and Dragons goes down. You need to back off now. Everybody needs to get back and spawn if you want. Everyone, the more kills they get, the more they stagger you.
Zarya's maintaining like above 80% pretty consistently with her charge. Like it's going to be hard to push because you're going to get so
she
much.
Already has another grab, Guardian. She didn't have another grab from that one fight.
She does.
Yes.
It's all that high charge damage she's getting to be putting it, or Zarya's
it's a
getting
big
pulled
slam
out.
and
Ooh, good save
block it.
from Chelsea.
Huge! Oh, that was a clutch sound barrier. Okay, Zan gets a nice kill onto the Mei, but it looks like it's in favor of the attackers because they have a closer spawn, but it was a 2v1 trade.
That doesn't matter.
Another graviton here. Can they follow up on it?
Still being aggressive. Ooh,
big slam. He was too aggressive. He didn't put the shield up, and they will get punished for it. Nice return from Pomira. Nice shatter to turn the fight. That will be point A. That's what you needed. You needed that clutch potential there to land the shatter. Ooh, will the Mei be staggered here? It looks like. Yeah, the Mei does too. Okay, and they are still in it, but that was a really nice first hold from the
Dylan's getting ready for a grab.
They have the graviton here.
Ooh, and that takes...
Nice, much better from there as well.
Definitely. This is actually going to end up making the streets phase real easy for them, actually. This is good, solid aggression, too, right now, coming out from Dylan, being able to push up. It's a lot of free space right now.
They were I just realized, sorry. They were playing Goats the entire time, and I did. Yeah, it was just... I didn't understand the composition they were playing before, the Ryan Hog. It wasn't working well. I think they should have made the switches on the defense when it wasn't working, but at the moment it's looking very nice right now.
Ooh, and
nice sound barrier from N-Dragon.
Cheeky
little
flank visor.
Oh,
ooh, out comes the next shatter from Raph.
Slam back from Sebastian. Oh,
Seb, sorry, wrong one.
There's another big slam. Oh my
Countered
god,
and blown up by Zan.
Oh, I love this map so far. Both Reinhardts are going at it. You know, it's so satisfying when you land that Earth Shatter. It's like, you know, yeah, I did carry that team, man.
The great thing is, this is becoming kind of also a little bit like, not only who has Shatter first, but if you don't capitalize on your Shatter, I'm going to counter your Shatter with another Shatter.
Exactly.
They're getting them pretty
paper,
close.
The counter Shatter normally wins.
Yeah, that's why you need to follow through with the first one.
Exactly, it's the follow-up there. Oh, call me rough, and both Reinhardt's down here. Nice boot from N-Dragon.
Outcoming,
it looks
another visor. Ooh, maybe
yeah, they did invest
just a little cleanup. Yeah, they don't really need to. Didn't really need to actually invest that visor, but I mean, it made for easy, quick cleanup. They probably could have staggered a little bit and actually got a little bit more value out of it in another fight, but with the way it, I mean, Hollis actually ended up having it what mid streets phase, so he got that second one real quick. So I have no doubt that this is actually going to get another one.
But he did get no value. Okay, someone's going for a flank grab here. Wickets is thinking of going for a flank grab, but then changed his mind. Oh, there we go. Here comes the flank grab. The Reinhardt is not there. Okay, the counter shatter. Nobody has died yet apart from Sebastian. They lose their Reinhardt. It's big. And there's Vult still alive pushing this payload. They have 2 minutes left in the bank. They did end up using quite a lot of ultimates. They're going to have Earth Shatter, Coalescence, and another attack visor from Hollis from that fight. The thing is, Tac Visor is one of those ults where it can get shut down quite quickly. It's one of those, like you said earlier, you used it for cleanup. It's not very good mid-fight unless you lost a D.Va.
Right.
A lot of healing here. Sai does go down, so it's not looking good.
Ooh,
nice block
here.
Shatter.
Zan's getting pulled out of a...
And here comes the cleanup from Hollis, yep. The moment you see that D.Va demech, you're going to see that attack line.
Chelsea's still on point, just keeping... Oh, sorry, Chelsea's trying to get N-Dragon off point.
Oh, N-Dragon. Oh, he tried to go for a cheeky C9, but they spotted it.
Yeah. Didn't end up getting the
Stagger.
the back cap. But now they're gonna end up having to wait for him because it's gonna be pretty integral for the goats to really be able to push in.
It is. Okay, you get the mech. She is going to use the bomb to reset. Can anyone cover? Oh. No, the Reinhardt does push ahead. He gets. Oh, Zan eats the graviton surge, but it's not going to mean anything. The team are just. This team's falling to pieces. Are so unfortunate. That was the fight-winning play there, but this team falls.
And now they just push up and reclaim that initial choke and make sure that the fight ends up happening sooner to delay them from getting to the point. Hollis is actually just sneakily
still winnable here for
waiting up. We got
do have
Dylan now on the tracer.
They do have coming up.
They've moved out a goat.
Oh, but the Reinhardt falls, and it's not looking good for Deus Vult. They lose their main shield, they lost their main tank, and somebody has to touch the payload. I don't think N-Dragon is on the payload, but his entire team has fallen. The Reinhardt's coming here, staggered. Separated, big slam, but Hollis is cleaning up with attack visor, and I think Phantoms will be able to take King's Row here, unless they'll be clutch. It'll be a miracle if they can bring it back here.
Dylan's still trying to keep stalling on the point right now. Ooh, and out comes another grab just to kind of solidify. Or was that
the emergency wrecking ball, saving grace, and there is no mercy from the Phantoms. They will be able to hold and take King's Row. I actually really enjoy that. I like the back and forth Reinhardt battle. You just love to see it.
Oh yeah, no, that was actually pretty intense, especially during point A, and then actually both teams actually went through streets really easily too. They were able to cap right here. Actually, it was a great grab.
It was A that they kind of had to struggle with. I think the thing that it was the defense of Deus Vult the first time. It was a composition they ran. It just wasn't working well. And if it wasn't working, I think they should have made a switch to goats a lot sooner, and they could have potentially held them in the final point. But I did like their goats play. It did end up working quite well with a nice time bank, but they were able to hold, unfortunately. They did have a lot of shield break, and Phantoms were able to hold and take the series 2-0 now. So
third point's going to be really hard for I think goats on that map against the high damage from all the Junkrat spam and shield break from soldier, etc. Like it becomes a little dicey, right, when you're trying to go through that like small corridor. I mean, like I get that a lot of the sustain and everything from goats could probably it looks like we're getting cyanide swapped out. I wonder if we're bringing in BAMs. We are bringing in BAMs.
Okay, now this will be interesting. Can he turn it around for Deus Vult against his former team?
They're gonna have comeback time. Okay, we're going to Hanamura, and this is gonna be. This is actually one of my. that's our team's favorite chant. Comeback time. Come back. That's by Puffy. Puffy. The shout out to Puffy
nice.
on the thing. I don't know if he's actually watching the stream or not, but just a reminder, everyone. We are now affiliates. We can actually accept subs, donos. So if you have that Twitch Prime, you know who to go to. We're gonna pull that Twitch Prime.
I wish I had Twitch Prime. I can't
shout out just in case. Ninja's no longer in Twitch anymore, so we steal it from him.
Yeah, I think he got like a really big deal from Mixer. He's gonna go back to Twitch. He just wanted the money,
It was a 6-year contract, from what I was told, and I remember reading
6
somewhere.
Six-year contract?
A 6-year contract at 10 mil a year is what was reported.
Jeez.
Changes the game for streamers, because at no point in the history of streaming so far has anybody actually been paid to stream, specifically like an employee is, whereas before, everybody typically just goes on, and you end up saying, okay, well, you're paying me technically through what I make in subs and donations, but I'm giving a portion of that to you, right? That's like, as the Twitch, like, you give it to Twitch, right? A portion of that. Whereas now, they're just like, no, you just make a, flat whatever, you keep all your subs, you keep your blah, blah, blah. This is this is Microsoft's power play, and it actually may end up changing the way that streaming's done.
Definitely.
I think going
If you're
forward.
getting paid that much, I'll stream every day. Like, oh goodness, imagine getting paid that much just for playing video games. That's crazy.
Dream job.
Dream job.
So apparently I just need to get good at video games. That's what I need to do.
Hanamura.
So it looks like we're just making sure that both teams are actually getting ready. I think we should be able to get Hanamura going very shortly, and Deus Vult will be defending first. Sorry, what were you going to ask there? I cut you off.
Oh, it's right. Yeah, I was just saying, the conversation we had earlier about Sigma. A lot of pros have been saying Sigma won't really replace other. They don't see him replacing other main tanks. He's kind of in like a really weird spot where they don't know where to put him. And a lot of the time when they scrim, from what I've seen, they normally run an Orisa kind of Sigma comp where they kind of just keep replacing and replenishing each other's shields. So when Orisa's barrier is down, Sigma comes, puts his shield down, and when Sigma's shield needs to recharge, Orisa puts the barrier down because of the nerf she got. So they kind of just keep doing that. I've seen some Xayah Sigma, but it's just like you really have to manage your shield well. If the team just keeps focusing on that shield, like the cover, it's not as good as the Reinhardt. It's just not there, and you can't really move. You can move it, but it's just you can't like do like a 180 really fast. I don't know. He's not out yet, so I can't really test him. But from what I've seen on paper, he's being used more like an off tank rather than a main tank. I'm not saying he can't be used as a main tank. He probably can, but right now it looks like there are better options, especially with the Reinhardt buff with the passive.
The knockback, right?
The knockback. Yeah, that's a really nice change. And Sigma doesn't have that. Sigma has he's more of like a DPS tank.
Which is you see usually as the off tank is usually a DPS tank style, right? I mean,
exactly.
Between Diva, Zarya, and Roadhog, like I mean, a lot of the times they're not really eating a whole lot of the damage, right? It's often the shield tanks doing that, and then they just end up giving a little bit of support and threat, and then most of the time they're they're acting as if they are a DPS sometimes, right? Like you have Divas diving right after Pharahs or Squishies, right, just to try and eliminate them, then get back.
Exactly. You're just basically like a really like tanky DPS. That's what you are.
Yeah.
So like a pseudo DPS, just an extra little punch. Bams does get a nice kill onto the Lucio early in spawn.
Shammy Sally actually ends up going down real quick off of that. She's getting regrouped though, so it looks like they're going to be trying to go for one of those little teleport tricks across the way.
With the Symmetra. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, they're going to do the Death Ball thing, try and get onto
I'm
the
curious
point.
if they're going to go straight to the point or if they're going to go up to the high ground first.
But, okay, but Deus Vult
Oh, they are
really
going
nice
straight
I think they
to the point on the right-hand side.
They expected the Symmetra, and the rotation is really nice here from the defenders. But Wickets does take down Arya. It's not looking good right now. They're very good attack from the Phantoms. And Bams will fall.
And we do have Dylan that's actually trying to get back.
It's a lot more forgiving now with the changes on TCP, but look at the ult charge percentage. They're going to have a Coalescence, nearly a Shatter coming in, and the only thing they have to work with right now, the defenders, is a Riptire. So if Bams can get it really quickly, get a single pick is all you need, like one or two picks from the defense is kind of what you need to stabilize.
Yeah, I mean, looking at a lot of that ult charge that you have going on, as you were mentioning, like Phantom's having so much additional ult charge right now compared to like some of the swaps that were made from Deus Vult. I think that actually really hurt their ult
Sebastian
economy.
gets the Riptire. It did, yeah. Okay, Bams gets a run high. As big, he gets two. They can stabilize here.
Stalling the point pretty solidly, except for the turrets are actually eating anybody that gets on there.
The reinforcements are coming back from Deus Vult.
Out comes the Shatter.
Nice Shatter here. Just to kind of clean it up. Here comes the bomb. Oh, it takes down Zan. He gets caught in the bomb.
It looks like Deus Vult might actually be able to hold this. They're stalled.
They will be able to stabilize. It looks
yeah.
like. Yeah, they do get the Lucio, and that's going to halt. Very nice stop here from Deus Vult. Unless, wait, he's saying that they lost BAMs. I think they're going to, considering pushing in, they have the coalescence. They are committing to this fight.
Ooh, and Raft actually ends up using his charge and gets stuck in the stairs. Chairs. Out comes Jollis, but it does get
Jollis gets 2,
3.
and then BAMs gets another one. He is saving it for his team.
Countered by the tire, but now we do actually happen to have 2v2. It looks like right here on point. Oh, never mind.
Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm seeing here, Guardians. I think they're going to hold not even a single tick after that Fiesta. And they're going to stagger the Diva too. It's looking great for Deus Vult.
She is just in there. Oh, she actually gets her mech back. They stalled way too long.
You can't afford to do that, Guardians. You got to know when to punish a Diva and put her down.
Exactly.
And she gets her mech back and gets away with it. So looking up here, it is looking quite well for both teams. Never mind saying that Dylan does get the pick, and that's going to slow it down even more for the Phantoms. I was going to say they had a really nice ult advantage here, but then saying that Deus Vult has both support ults, kind of when Dylan is popping off. You have to be careful here though, because you are the defenders. This is what I see a lot in my comp games, especially when you're defending. You don't need to get those kills, let them come to you, you know, because if you get picked, that's going to be the go time cue for the enemy team to attack. And as long as Dylan doesn't get picked here, just keeps harassing, it's going to be fine. He's trying to 1v1 there in the Reaper. Okay, so the Phantoms
they went for the teleport trick for the...
Oh, cheeky play there. That could have been huge if they didn't catch that out. Zan gets 2 with the coalescence. DPS Moira coming in.
Not successfully executed, but it was a good attempt from Chelsea and
there is still much to be done.
Wicket there.
Yeah,
but Chelsea does happen to have
saw
her
the
wall, so she's going to actually end up being able to use this on their next engagement. It'll actually give them a little bit of an edge with, you know, the Junkrat spam that's probably going to be coming around.
True.
Looks like they're going to be going around the left-hand side here.
You could also, in a way, actually, it's a very cheeky play, but the Symmetra wall can sometimes even block the sound barrier if you position it right, because it's line of sight. And so if you have the photon barrier in the right spot, potentially the big slam here from the Phantoms. I think this is what they need.
Dancing between that wall too.
Huge Earth Shatter. Massive from Sebastian.
Out comes the Riptire. Let's see if it actually ends up being able to take anybody out in order to stall this point. Gialis is just ulting at the door.
The Earth Shatter already did too much damage to Deus Vult. That was incredible.
Score 0-2. Switching sides.
Sebastian right now, Guardians, has been landing these really fat Earth Shatters. You gotta know when he has them. You gotta keep that shield up.
And it really ended up doing damage, actually, with that final push. They still got actually 1 minute and 34 seconds on the time block if they end up having to go into a second attack phase.
That's not so... It's still winnable for Deus Vult here to pull off a reverse sweep. Time bank is not that much. I mean, 134, you still managed to cap twice. But if you can possibly get a snowball potential here, you can beat the time bank and still save it. It depends. I was just kind of concerned with the Phantoms though. They were still running the Symmetra. It didn't kind of like do anything. It was just the Air Shatter from Sebastian that kind of saved them at that point.
Yeah, they probably would not have been able to actually end up securing that point if it wasn't for that Earth Shatter. That was definitely the play that saved them.
That was the play to get them the second point. And we are looking at the lifeline here. Can they get a second point? Or will the series be over here for Deus Vult? And the Phantoms will retain their undefeated status?
It's looking like it's gonna be a tough one to push through. I mean, we're going with the Mei wall for the choke, along with having Hog Halt Hook combo with the bunker. Oh, it looks like actually they're gonna push up and they're gonna try and see if they can get.
You have the soldier right on the top left too with a nice shield break. The Mei's there. Yeah, they are also running Death Vult. It's going to be interesting. Okay, they have the Symmetra, so they do kind of trying to rotate onto the point, and which is exactly what they're going to do.
Straight for the point. This is going to be tough though, because the Mei actually could have easily walled off that front choke.
She could have, but the Moira goes down for the Phantom. Just looking like a very quick point A. It's looking very good for Deus Vult. Okay, so the area does go down. It's going to slow them down a bit.
Clean up, and they're going to be able to cap point A.
I think Arya's going to get the bad spawn. Yeah, she's going to get the bad spawn, so they're going to have to wait for that Lucio a bit for the speed boost. But they're coming up with a Shatter right now. They have a really nice ult advantage. Are they going to wait for the Lucio? No, okay, they're just heading there.
They're just going. They're going to try and go for the rush. Oh, yeah, they're setting up their teleporter. I guess they figured that the
nice
Lucio's going to be able
to from Deus Vult. I like it on the left side.
up.
The Symmetra is working really well, actually. Nice bubble there, making room. Aggro, if they can get one pick. No, the Shatter gets blocked by this
block last
shield.
second.
And that's going to hold them right there. At this point, you're just going to want to reset. Everyone get out. You do not want to feed any more ult charge to the Phantoms, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
I mean, we're looking at numbers here. I mean, we got 3 major ults that are coming online for Deus Vult. 2 already online for... Actually, we got another 2 coming up, too, for the Phantoms, too, but we got... Coalescence, I don't know if I would consider massive, but it can actually end up keeping a fight running for a, extensive period of time.
That is true. The win condition at the moment for Deus Vult Guardians is the Graviton Searcher. They don't have a Transcendence. I think Shane Sally just switched onto the Zenyatta to try and counter that. If they can get a nice Graviton Searcher and follow off, they could here potentially win the team fight.
Get a grab, followed up with a Death Blossom. Actually, Death Blossom just came online, so this is probably going to be their best time that they can actually try and do this before Shammy Chally
they want to do
getting their trance.
Shammy Sally gets a trance. Exactly, you need to act now. You need to know when the Zenyatta has it. Okay, I think
they're coming on point.
For it.
There we go.
Ola is going for the high name, and he gets a triple kill, and that's going to save them. It's not looking really good for Deus Vult at the moment.
And yeah,
that actually saves them. The win condition is now actually going to be solved by the.
They're going to actually have to try and keep. They're going to either have to try and deal with Samashali or try and bait out the trance, because that's going to be online for the next fight, and that's going to end up stalling things
and because of that play from Hollis, they're able to get the Transcendence matching with the Graviton, so she's going to have it in 10%.
Hollis is just keeping up some of the pressure on those windows, preventing any Reapers from dropping in. I think he's trying to build up some ult charge at the same time.
Zomden gets a nice pick onto Chelsea Dortmund. Okay, this is their time to push right now. This is it. Everything on the line here. Hog misses the hook. Everybody needs to push on that Zenyatta to try and force that Transcendence. Everybody needs to go down before the restart. The respawn go in.
Oh, they almost took 2 different paths of going down. And it looks like Bams
Hog is coming in there. Jollis does get Zomdylan and the advantage. Ah, they take it. And Dragon does get Chelsea Dortmund again. Falls down, and they look like
now it's just time again for cleanup. And I think the Lucio stalling is probably actually going to delay things just even more for them to get regrouped.
And Zan falls even further stagger.
Both
Bams has been holding this Graviton Surge for the last 2 fights, and China Sally still has kept the Transcendence.
I'm pretty sure that Bams definitely knows that there's a Transcendence ready to go, because during that last fight you could see that Bams was really trying to put pressure onto that Zenyatta to either bait it out or to deal with them to open it up.
I just don't think he was in a good position to use the Graviton. I think they're playing it very smartly. They're spread out. The positioning of the Phantoms is very good right now. People split, so it's very hard for Desire to choose who to focus, and they are going to use the Bob. Bams does get focus. He's on 1 HP. He's so low.
Oh, I'm looking for...
Here comes the Graviton
Quick.
Surge.
Yep. But now we got a Shatter that we can actually use to counter with.
Dylan gets 3, Dylan gets 4. He's popping off right now. They can bring it here. The Orisa gets pinned to the wall, and I think Deus Vult will be able to kind of match this time bank. I think they're going to have a little bit slower. Yeah, 130, 129 or so.
Out comes the... Oh, you know what? It doesn't take a whole lot. The High Noon doesn't actually have to hit it. I think they're going to be able to actually maintain control over this. Yep. 10 seconds difference. So it's going to make this a close match.
It's going to be really close here. It comes to Overwatch clutch potential here in overtime. Who can be the most clutch in overtime? I don't know which. It can go anyway. 10-second difference, but...
Alright, so what is it you're expecting to see on this initial attack here? Because, I mean, they only got a minute and a half. You're going to want to get as much of the... Like, with it this close, you're going to want to get as much charge on the point as possible, right? So, they're going to have to act quick. I'm expecting a Symmetra again. I think it worked really well for them for the first time, but although I do expect the defense to adapt to that... Okay, wait. Hollis is opting with the Torbjorn here. Okay, interesting defense strategy. Orisa Hog, Reaper,
Attackers incoming in 30
and the Baptiste. Okay, now this is going to be quite hard to break. I think potentially a Pharmacy can break this. I mean, the Torb can counter a Pharah, but with the Mercy Pocket there, it's going to be hard. Endragon is going to have a very tough time on the Genji. Yeah, I mean, against his composition. As soon as he sees that Torb, unless, I don't know, you have a Nano Blade, you're going to want to switch. Yeah, that turret's going to zone you out real hard. I mean, they're going to go with dive, so if they can keep coordinated for the dive, like, it looks like they're going with one of the classic variations of dive. And if you're not going to have the coordination for it, this could actually end up not being as quick as you'd end up liking. Right now we got Hyolus actually sitting up with, Chelsea. Takes down Soldier. They are going to go for the res, but the Reaper is there behind. The peel from Wrath is there. Nice defensive matrix, but she will give up the mech for it. That pick was really big. Immortality already used. That was a bit preemptive there from the Phantoms. Definitely. I mean, right now we know that they can't get in because you got to have Wrath get his mech back before you can really end up going in. So. Investing the... Oh wait, Zom does get Jollis down. This could be their opening here. This is definitely the opening, and they almost have mech again, so there we go. This is it, this is it. This is the go time. This is everything on the line, but they do get the res. Chelsea Dorman gets 2. At the moment, I think everybody should just reset. You lost 2 of your members there. Genji is kind of holding behind the line, just to kind of sit there and poke out if he can. And Dragon is going to be able to touch the point here. The turret is there guarding him. He hasn't been able to actually really get into these fights as much, and I mean, he almost has his blade, so this may actually be able to turn around if the rest of his team can get. Oh, that's huge! It gets the Orisa off the map. There's Vult can turn it around here. Oh my goodness, he gets 3 on the Hammond. Emergency Hammond. And we still have Blade that comes out as soon as the stall starts coming in. Nope, they're going to hold this off and actually use this Blade as a way to go for the final push on the next point. See if they can at least get 1 tick on point B. That was so clutch, Guardians. I did not expect them to cap it, and they did. So good. They're win condition now. They do need the sound barrier to help the Genji grind through with that Dragon Blade. You gotta make sure you get that Orisa supercharger as soon as possible. The initiation, help someone help the hamster. The dive is late, the dive is late, the Winston's by himself. Genji's working on the oh no! You hate to see it. Shut down by Hyolus. The sound barrier was used too early because the dive was not on time. Okay, wait, they can bring it around here. No, it's unfortunate. But you're going to be happy with that with Deus Vult. You did manage to get the first tick. The first point, 3-2. If they can full hold, they can bring us
into a fourth
potentially a reverse sweep if they can keep the momentum going.
Ooh,
It's
that
very
could be
doable. We
exciting.
got 90 seconds, 94 seconds to hold.
Initiating match.
I mean, they still ended up capping all of point A. There's no ticks on point B, but that still could either bring us either to a draw or a good solid win if they're able to hold point A.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
this is going to be a pretty intense match, I think, right from this point here. That final push, there was a lot on the line on that point B because you really only had the one chance.
It was the dive though, Guardians. The
Yeah.
Hammond initiated, and then the Winston fell through after, and they were forced to use ultimates when it wasn't needed because they still haven't used the supercharged yet. They still haven't used any ultimates yet at that point, and because they weren't able to get value the moment they pressed triangle, they were able to get value from the Orisa supercharger and the whole hog, and hence why they won that team fight. There's a bit of miscommunication there, it would seem, from Deus Vult, but still, they'd be happy with that first point.
So it looks like we're going with a Bastion Bunker on point, right? But they kind of got like a split comp going with the Phantoms right now, where you kind of got a half death ball, half dive. It feels like
This is like a variation to something the Dallas Fuel ran in their defense against, even in the Goats meta.
And
Like
we got the ball is on the point, wreaking havoc, but it's gonna go straight down to
Zan
Dylan.
goes down. He's not in his own immortality field, and bam! The Reinhardt here should just fall off the edge right now. If that was the Reinhardt, I would fall off the edge.
They do get the res to
Okay,
get
it's looking
Zan back
very
into
good at the moment. Don't shoot
fight.
at deflecting Genji, and he doesn't. Okay, nice, looking good. The Deus Vult. It is 30 seconds almost for the Phantoms here to clinch the series.
Oh, that was Cyanide, Cyclops that left the game. I saw somebody leave the game, and I was like, "Oh, do we have a lever? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
of course,
gonna
it
be."
was...
That is a bad time, but we actually had both teams had
Huge from
fire
Bam, he gets
strike on
two.
Bam.
That's what you need from the defending team. Arya goes down.
We're gonna have a fire
Either
strike.
way
Oh,
here,
sorry,
the Hammond
Earth
is
Shadow
going
real
around in
soon.
circles. Jarlath gets two on the Genji.
Ooh, but unfortunately, it ends up getting Sebastian down. They may actually very well hold this. Oh no, never mind. That's Mech's gone.
Okay, they do have the Earth Shatter. They have the mine coming in. Bam's trying to
Oh, we're gonna get a stall.
salvage points.
Sorry, a stagger potentially on the Mercy or Zan. Zan's gonna go down from the hamster in a second. They're still stalling
Arya.
this. This is
Oh, try to get the res.
Dylan's trying to keep the point active, but not quite. Fortunately, I think he just...
Oh, they're trying to bring it back. Gets the hamster though. The spawn advantage is there for the attacking team. They
Out
really
comes the
want to
sound
keep
barrier,
this point A.
definitely gonna end up securing point A for them.
At this point, you
Oh,
would just
and the
want
ball
to
comes in again to try and do a
You just
stall.
want to reset.
Last
You just want
second.
to reset now. If you're the defenders, you do
Yeah, at
not
this
want to
point you're
get
just
staggered.
feeding ult charges and yeah. I mean, luckily with the changes to assault, right? Like your respawn timer on defense is much better,
Yeah,
right? Like you can get back a lot quicker with everything. It's just
Oh, they do
there was a
lose the
lot of
hand,
ult
though.
charge
The
given
mines
to the enemy
aren't
team.
on the objective.
Out comes
no
Earth Shatter.
Reinhardt.
And yep. Like this is a lot of ultimates that they actually still had going for them going into this fight, just because of the long stagger from point A.
Yeah, they also were able to build level charge from. And it looks like Phantoms will be taking the series, unless a miracle can happen from Deus Vult.
I mean, showing on point A, there was a lot of intense stalling they got going on there, but so with the respawn advantage, they may be able to try and stabilize, but they're going to have to, they came in as a group.
So just sort of doing this, you can get one pick, you just need one pick to try and stabilize, but then he gets taken down for it. Okay, here comes a Diva Bomb, can I get anybody from it? Nobody can touch, oh wait, Zam's on the point now. And here comes another Shatter, and I think that will be it.
We got mines coming out. Like, Raft is stalling for everybody to come out. With the extended respawn times, though, on the defense side, it's just not going to be enough.
There's only so much one hamster can do, and Lucio falls to the high noon, and that will be the series. I can see why Deus Vult were trying to invest so much, because I think even if they were to draw, Phantoms would have still won, because it would have been a 2-0.
Yeah, it would have been 2-0 at that point, and without and even if they happened to bring back map 4 after the draw, they still would have been 2-1.
2-1, exactly.
By the time we went to a tie, like there would have been no tiebreaker at that point.
So I can see what I respect the fact that they were trying to salvage the point A, and they used a lot of ultimates for it, but it was against them because of the spawn advantage for the attackers.
Now I don't know if we're going to be going
very good
to a
effort from both
game
teams,
4. We'll have to end up checking. Normally we end up giving the option for game 4 when it gets to a shutout series on the first 3 maps. I mean, we do end up trying to do 4 games regardless.
Yeah.
But we do end up leaving it up to the other teams to see if they want to go. It would
be nice for Deus Vult if they can grab a win here on the next night. It'd be a nice consolation prize. And also, there's like a map differential as well, like in the league, so it'd be good to have it. Just that extra map, that extra point onto your stats. But yeah, it's between the teams.
And it looks like we're actually going to be going into, so it looks like there is going to be no map 4. They're going to go into a free-for-all deathmatch actually here. Okay, so I believe we're probably going to be seeing a Widow free-for-all as a final map. Well, not a final map, but I mean, you know, just something a little fun just to kind of wind down to. I think sometimes when they know that the actual game's been completely lost, that and it looks like we have a player that's not able to actually continue further anyway, so with the Deus Vult's team. So we're just I think they just felt that they should just call it, regroup and get something to wind down, just have a little bit more fun. Because, I mean, after all, that is what we're here for. We are here for some fun. And it looks like so many people are just like, nope.
Oh,
so I don't even know if we're going to actually have any game.
I don't know anymore either. Who would be your player of the match from both teams? Because personally, I think
that's
both
hard.
Reinhardt's kind of stood out. I do like the kind of
Agreed.
counter back and forth shatters we had. They both had their moments of shining. So did the DPS. There were some really nice defensive support ults from both teams. So it's kind of hard, but for me, I think personally, it was the shatters from the Phantoms. I think Sebastian, there was just a really important shatters he needed to land, and for me, for the Phantoms, he would be the MVP. And for Deus Vult,
Raft.
Raft was really good. Bams was really good too. He was really good on. Although he only played Hanamura, I'll give a considerable mention to the Junkrat. He was able to stabilize, and he just shaved off like an extra minute and a half or so for the team.
Wait, which Junkrat? You're talking about Bams on the Junkrat?
Yeah, Bams on Junkrat on Hanamura defense.
Right. That actually was pretty clutch at the end. But yeah, it looks like that is going to be.
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I think for sorry, one more thing. I think for Deus Vult, I'll give it to Dylan. Actually, Dylan did really well on the DPS.
Oh, that's actually a very good point, especially like that first map where we had all those mines strewed about on what was it? Not Garden, City Center.
Yeah.
we're in City Center, and he's he's stuck in that little corner, and all the mines just around him. But yet he's still able. He's just in that corner, minding his own business, still getting a lot of work done. He's sitting there, you know. I think there was the Reaper. He pops out. There was the enemy McCree. He pops out. There was the Mercy that goes in for the res that he ends up popping out just before the hamster comes in, finds him, and it's like, yeah, no, you're not allowed to be here.
He was just getting them really nice picks. He was just getting clean headshots, clean, just any clean pick you can do for your team. You're doing your job as a DPS.
Definitely.
And also the tank for Deus Vult, that clutch and hamster, just it was a really nice series, back and forth, which is what I like to see.
I loved seeing those back-to-backer shatters, though, as you were saying, like those. It was one, yeah. That I think actually had to just give me the map. That was the map of the day. It was definitely King's Row.
Definitely.
Because I mean, having what Raft Earth Shatter. Sorry, it was actually the other way around. We actually saw Sebastian do the Earth Shatter, followed up by Raft, because I mean, hey, if the team gets back up and he's like, fine, you guys are just gonna be swinging, smash, you guys go down next.
Boom. Exactly. You just love to see a big Sam.
Oh, always. It's so satisfying when you actually get them yourself. Like, he must have been just like amped up during those moments.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you just feel the adrenaline pumping when you land the really nice air shatter. You outplay the enemy Reinhardt. It's like a chess game. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, I think, is that the stream concluded?
That will be the stream concluded. I haven't shut everything off. I mean, these types of thoughts I think are actually very entertaining for some people to kind of just dwell over, see if anybody actually agrees and stuff like that. So I wanted to leave it running while we gave our thoughts. But I don't think we're actually going to be going into anything else. Looks like everybody has left the roster board here, because we got just Ari, and she's the host of the map, so we're kind of probably keeping her here.
Okay, yeah, we should probably call it that. All right.
Yeah, but
well, thank you everybody for watching, and it's been a pleasure hosting this stream and being your commentators for this game.
Yeah,
so
thank you very much, Phil.
Hopefully you can come along. Yeah, thank you, Guardians, for
definitely end up doing this one again. I like our combo, I think, actually, quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.